You don't need more advice. You need principles. Have you ever felt emotionally hijacked by just one comment? You start your day in a rush. You check your notifications. You absorb other people's energy before you even breathe. You react, then regret. You know you could live better, but you don't know where to start. The problem isn't weakness. The problem is the absence of inner discipline, not the kind of discipline that comes from checklists and alarms, but the kind that comes from your soul. Stoic discipline. It's built through small, consistent habits that anchor you, while the world tries to push you around. In this video, you'll learn 10 Stoic habits that may look simple, but over time, they will reshape your emotional strength, sharpen your character, and restore your inner power. Not to make you perfect, but to make you unshakable. If you've been tired of overreacting, overthinking, or over-explaining, this is your path back to clarity. Let's begin the journey of becoming someone who doesn't just survive the chaos, but leads through it. It starts here. You stop reacting. You start choosing. That's real power. Habit 1. Start your day in silence, not in reaction. Most people don't realize they've already surrendered before the day even begins. The moment they wake up, their hand reaches for the phone. The blue light hits their eyes. The noise of other people's lives, messages, headlines, opinions, floods in before their own thoughts even have a chance to breathe. That's not a morning. That's a mental ambush. And if the first thing you do each day is react, don't be surprised when your entire day becomes one long chain of reactions. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You snap. A coworker disrespects you. You boil. Your mind never had a moment to anchor itself because it was never given a moment to exist in silence. The Stoics believed that the beginning of each day is sacred. Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the Roman Empire, began his mornings not with battle strategies, but with mental armor. He reminded himself, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, and rude. That is their nature. But I will not let them make me forget mine." That kind of preparation isn't motivational fluff. It's self-defense. It's what separates the reactive from the disciplined, the chaotic from the centered. You need that silence, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. So here's the habit. When you wake up, don't grab your phone. Don't check your calendar. Don't answer to the world. Sit. Breathe. Let your mind arrive. Let your soul speak before the noise can drown it out. Ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? What kind of man or woman do I want to be? No matter what happens. This practice takes 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes determine whether you lead your emotions or get dragged by them all day long. You wouldn't begin a war without strategy. Don't begin your morning without clarity. Don't let the world barge into your spirit while it's still waking up. The chaos will wait. The notifications will wait. But your inner stillness won't unless you make space for it. Start your day in silence, and you start it with power. Because the person who begins with stillness doesn't just survive the day, they master it. Habit 2. Write down what you can't control and let it go. Control is the biggest illusion most people carry. They think if they worry hard enough, stress long enough, or plan thoroughly enough, they'll be safe. But worry doesn't protect you. It just exhausts you. And when your mind is filled with everything outside your control, you become weak, distracted, and emotionally volatile. Every day, something will go wrong. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall through. Life will surprise you in ways you never saw coming. And here's the truth the Stoics lived by. You can't control life. You can only control your response. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." That means the majority of your pain comes not from what's happening, but from your refusal to accept that it's happening. So how do you train your mind to let go? You write it down. That's the habit. Every morning, take 2 minutes to write down what you cannot control today. The outcome of a meeting, someone else's mood, traffic, a delayed email, a missed opportunity. Write it, see it, acknowledge it, and then say to yourself, "This is not mine to carry." Because when you name the uncontrollable, you take away its power. It no longer swirls in the background of your mind like invisible fog. You bring it into the light and then release it. This practice is not weakness, it's strength. It takes discipline to focus only on what's yours to manage. Your mindset, your reactions, your choices, your words. When you try to control what isn't yours, you waste your life. You lose time, energy, peace. And for what? Imagine standing in the rain, shaking your fist at the clouds. That's what it's like trying to control anything but yourself. You don't stop the storm. You just look foolish and get soaked. So let it rain. Let people be who they are. Let situations unfold as they will. But inside, stay dry. Stay centered. Stay clean of the chaos. Write it down. Let it go. Walk forward. That's not surrender. That's sovereignty. Habit 3. Remind yourself, no one owes you anything. Entitlement is a silent poison. It sneaks into your mind disguised as fairness. I did the right thing, so they should respect me. I was there for them, so they should be there for me. I worked hard, so life should reward me. But here's the brutal truth the Stoics lived by. The world owes you nothing. Not recognition, not kindness, not fairness, not even closure. The moment you start believing that people owe you loyalty, love, or validation, you chain your emotional well-being to things you cannot control. And when they don't respond the way you hoped, you collapse into frustration. You think something's wrong with them, or worse, with you. But the real problem was the expectation. Epictetus warned, when someone does not do what you expect, you are upset. But who is responsible for your expectation? You are. It's not your fault that you were kind. It's your fault that you thought kindness guaranteed a return. This habit sounds cold, but it's the foundation of emotional strength. Remind yourself daily, no one owes you anything. That doesn't mean you become numb or cynical. It means you start acting out of principle, not out of transaction. You show up with integrity, because it aligns with who you are. You help others, not to be praised, but because it's the kind of person you choose to be. You love, because love is strong enough to exist without conditions. You become unshakable because you expect less and give more. And ironically, that's when life starts to give back. So the habit is this. When you feel let down by someone, pause and ask yourself, did I expect something they never promised? If the answer is yes, release it. Free them. Free yourself. This doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful, because your peace is no longer held hostage by someone else's behavior. You don't walk through life collecting emotional debts. You walk through life investing your values, regardless of the return. Think of it like this: you are the sun. You shine because it's in your nature, not because someone claps for it. No one owes you anything, and that is your freedom. Habit 4. Delay your reaction. Master the 3-second rule. The fastest way to destroy your peace is to react too quickly. You hear something offensive. You snap. Someone disrespects you. You lash out. You feel the sting of a comment, and your mouth moves before your mind catches up. But here's what you must understand. Emotional reactions are not strength. They are surrender. When you react instantly, you are not responding. You are being controlled by your ego, by your wounds, by your conditioning. The Stoics taught that real power lies not in the first impulse, but in the second thought. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. No one inserts anger into you. They simply poke where it already exists." So, the habit is simple, but life-changing. Wait 3 seconds before you respond. That's it. When something triggers you, don't move. Don't speak. Breathe. Count to 3. And in that space, choose who you want to be. 3 seconds won't feel like much, but they are everything. They are the distance between reaction and wisdom, between saying something destructive and something powerful, between escalating and de-escalating, between regret and respect. You don't owe your anger a voice. You owe yourself peace. And peace is a skill, trained by pause, not by punishment. So how do you practice this? Every day, expect to be provoked, not because the world is evil, but because it's full of imperfect people like you. When it happens, catch the first wave. Let it crash. Then rise with clarity. You are not a wild animal acting on instinct. You are a human being with the ability to pause. Use it. The pause is your power. Imagine a general in battle. The enemy makes a move, and the general pauses, watches, thinks. He doesn't strike back blindly. He calculates. That's strategy. That's mastery. Do the same in life. Don't let your first impulse define you. Let your second thought reveal your strength. The world will keep throwing sparks, but whether you ignite or extinguish, that choice is yours. 3 seconds. That's all it takes to reclaim your self-respect. Habit 5. Act on principle, not on mood. Your mood is a liar. Some days it tells you you're unstoppable. Other days it tells you you're worthless. One morning you're full of fire. The next, you can't even get out of bed. If your actions are ruled by how you feel, your life will be ruled by chaos. Because moods are temporary, but consequences are not. Most people live like this. They wait until they feel like it. They only show up when motivation strikes. They only act with integrity when it's convenient. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. It teaches that you must anchor your behavior to your values, not to your shifting internal weather. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is the foundation of Stoic self-discipline. Identity first. Action second. Mood never. So what does this look like as a daily habit? Each morning, choose 3 principles you want to embody, no matter how you feel. For example, I will speak with patience. I will act with courage. I will finish what I start. Then, throughout the day, return to those principles like a soldier checking his orders. When your emotions try to hijack you, when frustration rises, when laziness creeps in, when insecurity whispers, you don't listen. You follow the principle, not the noise. Why? Because consistency builds character, and character outlasts comfort. Imagine a lighthouse. Waves crash. Winds howl. Storms rage. But the light doesn't flicker. It was built to stand, not to react. That's what your principles are. They're your light. They don't change when your mood does. They keep you grounded when life tries to pull you in every direction. And here's the truth. If you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. If you wait to feel strong, you'll collapse at the first resistance. But if you live by principle, you become something solid, something others can trust, something you can respect. So, stop chasing the emotional high. Start training yourself to act from the core, because your mood may change every day, but your mission should not. Live by principle, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's how you become unshakable. Habit 6. Don't argue. Observe. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every challenge needs a response. And not every battle is worth your energy. The weak react. The wise observe. You've been taught that silence is weakness. That if you don't defend yourself, people will walk all over you. But that belief keeps you trapped in endless conflict, proving, defending, correcting, debating. You waste your words on people who are not listening. You exhaust your spirit trying to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you. Stoicism offers a different path. Don't argue. Observe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." So when someone lies, provokes, or disrespects you, your silence isn't submission. It's elevation. It means they no longer control your emotional state. They can throw words, but you don't catch them. The daily habit is this: when someone says something ridiculous, offensive, or wrong, pause. Don't jump to correct. Don't react to defend. Just ask yourself, what is this revealing about them? Their impatience reveals their insecurity. Their arrogance reveals their fear. Their aggression reveals their lack of discipline. Every interaction is data, and the Stoic learns from life, not by shouting louder, but by listening deeper. Because most arguments are not about truth, they're about ego. And once you enter that arena, you've already lost. You can win the debate and still lose your peace. That's not power. That's pride. So how do you apply this in practice? When triggered, take a breath and say to yourself, "This doesn't need my energy. This is not my battlefield. Let them talk. I'll let them reveal themselves. This is not cowardice. This is clarity." The same way, a seasoned warrior doesn't draw his sword for every fool who throws a pebble. You don't waste your calm on petty words. There is a time for truth, but not every moment is the right moment. and not every person is ready to receive it. So instead of reacting, study them. Watch what angers them. Watch what they try to control. Watch what they can't let go. Silence becomes your sharpest weapon because it keeps your dignity intact, while theirs crumbles in noise. You don't need to argue to be right. You don't need to win the moment to win your peace. Observe. Learn. Stay above. That's how the Stoic moves. Not louder, but higher. Habit 7. Acknowledge mistakes without self-punishment. You're going to mess up. You'll say things you regret. You'll make the wrong choice. You'll hurt someone unintentionally. That's not a flaw in your character. It's part of being human. But here's the real danger. Most people don't just acknowledge their mistakes. They weaponize them against themselves. They replay the moment. They call themselves names. They spiral into guilt and shame, thinking that punishment equals accountability. It doesn't. Stoicism is not about being flawless. It's about being honest and disciplined enough to improve. Seneca wrote, "Every night I examine my conscience. I review the day. I go over what I've done and what I could have done better." Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say, "I beat myself up." He said, "I reviewed." He examined. I learned. The Stoic does not hide from mistakes, but they also don't drown in them. So here's the habit. Every time you fall short, pause and ask, what did I do? Why did I do it? What will I do differently next time? No story, no spiral, no self-pity. You are not your worst moment. You are your next decision. There is strength in saying, "I got it wrong," and even greater strength in saying, "Now I know better." This is how character is built, not in pretending to be perfect, but in becoming deeply familiar with your flaws and still moving forward. Imagine a sculptor. They strike the stone, look closely, adjust, and strike again. They don't cry over every chip or crack. They keep refining. You must do the same with your character. Refine. Learn. Adjust. If you punish yourself endlessly, your mistakes will turn into a cage. But if you observe them wisely, they will become your greatest teachers. So the next time you fail, don't run. Stand still. Look your imperfection in the eye and speak to it like a master would speak to a student. Thank you. You've shown me where I need to grow. That's not weakness. That's inner leadership. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs people humble enough to admit and strong enough to evolve. Make the mistake. Learn the lesson. Leave the shame behind. And move forward, sharper than before. Habit 8. Practice gratitude for discomfort. Everyone wants growth, until it gets uncomfortable. Everyone wants wisdom, until life makes them wait. Everyone wants peace, but resents the very situations that build it. But here's a hard truth the Stoics understood. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the trainer. Most people only feel grateful when life is soft, smooth, agreeable. But that kind of gratitude is weak. It only exists when things go your way. The Stoic cultivates a different kind of gratitude. Gratitude for the things that sharpen them. Gratitude for the pressure that reveals their shape. Gratitude for the resistance that makes their strength visible. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He wasn't speaking in metaphors. He meant it literally. Every delay, every betrayal, every frustration is an invitation to rise. But only if you stop complaining long enough to listen. So here's the habit. Every time something annoys you, pause and ask, what is this teaching me? What virtue is being tested right now? Is someone rude to you? You're being trained in patience. Is your plan disrupted? You're being taught adaptability. Is your ego bruised? You're being handed humility. When you stop labeling discomfort as bad and start calling it training, your entire mindset changes. You no longer see life as an enemy to survive, but as a gym for the soul. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you enjoy suffering. It means you stop resisting it. You stop whining and start learning. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "What now?" Think of a blacksmith. He doesn't apologize to the metal for the fire. He knows the fire is what makes the blade strong. You are no different. Stop chasing comfort. It's a trap. It softens your spirit and makes you fragile. Chase growth. Chase clarity. Chase the kind of strength that only comes from being challenged, disappointed, rejected, and still standing tall. So when life gets hard, don't flinch. Stand up straight. Thank it for the lesson. Gratitude is not just for blessings, it's for becoming someone worthy of them. Welcome discomfort, because what's stretching you is also shaping you. Habit 9. Reflect every night. Audit your soul. You wouldn't run a business without tracking your numbers. You wouldn't drive a car without checking your mirrors. So why do you go through life without ever reviewing your mind, your choices, your day? Most people close their eyes at night, the same way they open them in the morning. Unconsciously. They don't know what they did wrong. They don't know what they did right. They just drift through the hours, hoping life somehow rewards them for effort they never examined. But the Stoic doesn't drift. The Stoic reviews. Seneca wrote, "When the day is over, I ask myself, what have I done? What have I done well? What could I have done better?" This wasn't self-punishment. It was self-mastery. Because reflection is how the wise sharpen themselves. Here's the habit. Every night, before you sleep, run a mental audit of your day. No distractions. No screens. Just silence and honesty. Ask yourself, did I live according to my principles today? Where did I let emotions drive me off course? Did I act with courage, patience, discipline, or did I react with ego, fear, and pride? Write it down if you have to. 3 sentences. That's all it takes. What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? This is how you stop repeating the same mistakes year after year. Not by hoping, but by watching yourself with discipline. Because without review, there is no growth. And without growth, you are just reliving the same year, over and over, calling it a life. Imagine a warrior. Every evening, he sharpens his blade. Not because he lost, but because he knows tomorrow is another battle. Your mind is the same. It dulls if you don't examine it. Don't wait for life to teach you the same lesson twice. Learn it tonight and evolve. This is how you build unshakable character, not just through dramatic action, but through daily reflection. Quiet, consistent, relentless. And when your head finally hits the pillow, you won't wonder if you wasted the day. You'll know You fought the right battles. You corrected the wrong ones. You walked in alignment with who you say you are. That's peace. That's progress. And that's what it means to live awake. Habit 10. Live today like it's enough. The modern world keeps whispering one toxic message. You are not there yet. Not successful enough. Not attractive enough. Not productive enough. Not anything enough. And so you run. You chase. You scroll through lives that look better than yours. You plan for a future you haven't even earned, while disrespecting the day that's in front of you. But here's what the Stoics knew, and what modern minds forget. This moment is not a stepping stone. It is the main event. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to wake you up. Because every day you treat as just another day could be your last. Not in a morbid sense, but in a clarifying one. So here's the habit. Begin your day by imagining it's your final full chapter. Not in fear, but in freedom. If this was it, would you still waste energy being offended? Would you still try to prove something to people who don't matter? Would you still measure yourself against strangers? Or would you finally speak with sincerity, move with purpose, love with your whole attention, and honor the small, invisible things, like sunlight through a window or the calm in your breath? Living like today is enough doesn't mean you stop having goals. It means you stop believing joy is only available after you reach them. It means you don't postpone gratitude. You don't delay peace. You don't wait to arrive somewhere to finally let yourself feel whole. You are here now. That is more than enough. So stop scrolling past your life. Put the phone down. Look at where you are. Look at who you are becoming. And ask, if today were my final message to the world, am I proud of it? This isn't about urgency. It's about intention. The Stoic doesn't wait for tragedy to remind them of life's value. They carry that awareness with them. Every step, every word, every breath. Today is not practice. It's the performance. And how you live it reveals everything. Don't just live. Live awake. Live deliberately. Live like this moment is the reward, not the delay. Because the truth is, if you can learn to live like today is enough, you'll stop chasing life. And finally, begin to experience it. What you just heard isn't philosophy for philosophers. It's not theory for people with time to spare. It's a blueprint for anyone who's tired of being tossed around by emotions, distractions, and noise. These 10 Stoic habits aren't tricks. They're not hacks. They are disciplines. And disciplines don't work unless you practice them. So, start simple. Pick one habit from today's list, just one, and live it. Not once, not when it's convenient. Every day, until it becomes part of your spine. Until people around you start to wonder, how did you become so steady, so sharp, so calm under pressure? And you'll know why. Because you stopped letting life happen to you, and you started living on purpose. That's what Stoicism is. It's not cold. It's not emotionless. It's clarity in chaos. It's power without noise. It's character forged by fire and refined by silence. Now, it's your turn. If this message spoke to something deep in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to someone who needs to stop reacting and start rising. Leave a comment. Which habit hit you hardest? Which one will you start today? And subscribe. Not because this is content, but because you're committed to becoming someone stronger, calmer, and wiser. The world doesn't need more opinions. It needs more examples. Be one of them. Start now. Not tomorrow. Not when you have time. Now, because character doesn't wait.